Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Griffin, and I'm a filmmaker based out of Orange County, California. And today we're going to be doing a review for the APUTURE 600D Pro. So jumping into the things I really like about the light, the first thing I like about the APUTURE 600D is this is a light that has a ton of output. So this is really the first light I've had the chance to be able to own myself that has enough output for most of the jobs that I do. So you can see today, we're actually on set right now. Today we're actually using 4 of the APUTURE 600Ds. We've got 3 of them rigged up in softboxes up top. And those are just like cheap, newer softboxes off Amazon. I'll put a link to them. I think they're like 50 bucks each or something. Not expensive. And then we have the 600Ds up there. And what's really cool is it's double diffused. So it's diffused through the softbox. And then we have a custom DIY, it's an 8-foot by 4-foot softbox that my friend Dave built. And that's double diffusing the light. So it gives a really big soft key. So that's actually what I'm being lit with right now for this shoot. And we're in the studio again. We're shooting with the Phantom high-speed cameras. And when you're shooting with Phantom high-speed cameras, you need a ton of output. So I have the 3 up top here, and then I have a 4th one over here, just giving a little bit of fill light. So this light here is pushed through a 60-inch dome. And this is brings me to the second thing I really like about the APUTURE 600D is it's really easy to modify. So I'm able to just take this softbox. I think this one cost me maybe 100 bucks. I'll put a link to this one as well. But what's cool about this softbox is you can just pick up the light, pick up the softbox and move it. It's a lot easier than using something like a 4x4 with a C-stand, with another C-stand for your light. And it's just a little more cumbersome, especially if you're a one-man crew, like I am some of the time. So that's one of the things I really like about it is the fact that it's still a Bones mount and it can work with cheap softboxes that a lot of us already own. So another thing I really love about the 600D is the fact that it has its own softbox that it comes with that's really high quality. So a lot of times if you're gonna be renting lights out, maybe like on ShareGrid or something, I actually rent my lights on ShareGrid, so hit me up if you need a couple lights. But what's cool about it is when it comes time to pack the light up, it's easy to know where everything goes. Everything has its own specific place, and it comes with kind of like custom cutout slots here. So everything's custom fit. Now a lot of times with other light companies, you might not get a softbox or a case like this, and you might have to pay for that extra. But having this custom fit case, it's nice, especially if you're renting your light to someone else, so they can know this is where the ballast goes, this is where the head goes, cables go in here, and you've got your reflector dish here. So it's nice that kind of at the end of the day, you can do a little check and make sure that everything's there. Okay, so another thing I really like about the 600D is this light, in my opinion, is completely professional in its build quality. It's got this really nice handbrake, so if you have like a really big softbox that you need to lock off, or you're doing some overhead rigging, I'll insert some B-roll right here of the way that we rigged these lights yesterday, but you really need to make sure it's secure. I had some of the early APUTURE lights, like the 120D Mark I, for example, and it had just this little plastic handbrake, and it ended up breaking on me. Still a good light, still use it actually for my YouTube videos, but I don't like using it on set anymore because it's not super safe. This one's got this really robust handle, and everything about this just feels professional quality. And also, if you're renting your light out, you're gonna not really have to worry about it because it's built to be rugged and it's built to take some abuse. The last thing I really love about the 600D is in a lot of ways, this light can substitute instead of a Joker 800 or an M18. So it doesn't have the same power as an M18, don't get me wrong, but what's cool about it is you can take 2 of these and you can put them on the same circuit in a house and it's not gonna trip the breaker. Now, I've been on a lot of commercials where we rent the M18, and even just the M18 by itself with whatever else is plugged into the circuit at the house, a lot of times it can trip the breaker and it can slow you down in your shoot. So it's really nice knowing that if you need something that's high output and you don't necessarily have somebody that's like an electric on your team that can really go and make sure everything's good to go, it's nice that you don't have to worry so much because it's not sucking as much power. This one, I think the max draw on this is 720 watts, whereas like an M18 will be 1800 watts. And then the typical household breaker, correct me if I'm wrong, but what I think it is it's 2200 or 2400 in the States. So it's nice knowing that you've got a little more headroom and you can put 2 of these on the same circuit, which gives you a little bit of versatility as well. So jumping into the things that I don't like about the APUTURE 600D, the first and foremost, it would be these cables right here. So they're really solid and robust. I just wish it was easier to see. I don't know if you can zoom in and see that, but I wish it was easier to see where the mark is. So there actually is a little red dot there, and you have to line the red dot up with, there's another little red dot on the receiving end of it. On the 300D Mark II and the other lights, it's much easier to see, even if you're in the dark. It's super easy to see exactly which way the orientation of the cable is supposed to be. And I just find myself, even no matter how much I use this light, I always find myself kind of fumbling around, trying to find this little tiny red dot. And usually it's before you put your lights up. So it's usually a dark set. So that's one thing that I think could be improved on a Generation 2. The second thing I don't like about the 600D, and it's not so much a critique of the 600D as it is of just the fact that there's no 60-inch softbox from Aputure that has the gel holder. So one thing I really love about the Light Dome 2 is, even though it's a daylight only light, or you're using daylight only lights, it's got a gel holder built in. So it makes it really easy if you need to put like a quarter CTO or half CTO or full CTO to match whatever your ambient light temperature is in the place you're filming. So with this big softbox, it's great because it's cheap and it's easy to modify and it's easy to just pop open. It pops open just like an umbrella and you get this big, soft, beautiful light. The only downside, like I was saying though, is it doesn't have a built-in gel holder. So you have to kind of come up with your own solution to figure out how you want to change the color temperature of this light. So the last thing I'll say about the 600D that I don't like is just the fact that it's always out of stock. That's kind of like the problem with Aputure lights, is they make such a great product at such an affordable price that it's actually hard to get them in stock. So fortunately, I own one myself. The company I work with owns 2 more, but I just kind of find them hard to come by, and I pretty much always see them out of stock. So, you know, maybe if you're watching this later, they're in stock now. So if you do, I'll drop a link or whatever. But anyways, I just want to close it out by saying I think this is a really great light, and I'm super grateful for companies like Aputure that really listen to the customers and give filmmakers that are either indie filmmakers or kind of up-and-comers the chance to work with a light that's really built professional grade, and it's got a ton of horsepower in terms of output at a pretty affordable price. So anyways, guys, if you like this kind of video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.